Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Michael Hartley with Action Coach. What needs to pivot in my business, kickstart your day, get you refocused, because business is changing daily right now. To be sharing with you what our focus is going to be today and candidly over the next few weeks, because when we look at kind of where our focus is, the principles that we're going to go over today, I was taught a long time ago and legitimately completely changed and shifted my life, shifted the entire course that I was on. And so as we start to dive into this, I encourage you to be taking notes. And as you look at it, think through how it applies both in your personal life and in your business. So let's dive in. So when we look at pivoting, we always start with mindset. And when we look at pivoting our mindset and focusing where it needs to be, one simple thought. I shared this with a group of business owners recently. I will never again project negative thoughts. Period. End of the sentence. I will never again project negative thoughts. When you take that to heart, when you truly focus on making sure that you have the right mindset every single day, that you eliminate those negative thoughts from allowing into your mind, when you remove the things, the physical environment, the people in your life, the news, the music you listen to, whatever that is, you remove all the negativity and you let all of that focus on what you actually want to accomplish. It's amazing what that can do for us. What's one thing outside of your comfort zone? Internalize that. So it's one thing that outside of my comfort zone that I need to be doing. What's one thing out of your comfort zone that you need to be doing more consistently? What does that look like for you right now? It's amazing to see how the current situation has almost forced individuals to get out of their comfort zone. What's really cool about it is when you become comfortable in the zone of discomfort consistently, your business and specifically you will never stop growing. You will always consistently grow because you're used to being comfortable in the zone of discomfort. Doing things that you're not comfortable doing allows you to grow. Striving for perfection leads to procrastination, which can lead to stunted growth and things like that. Perfection is the killer of progress. At the end of the day, perfection is the killer of progress. And so we need to understand that, you know what, sometimes we're going to make the wrong decision. And that's okay, because at least we are making a decision, meaning that we're learning, we're able to test things out, we're able to move the needle forward. If we always focus on making sure something is absolutely what it needs to be, before we actually take the first step, we're never going to. And that can kill businesses. And so we have to be able to make uncomfortable decisions to move things forward. And as long as you are making even 1% of progress, 2 years, 3 years down the road, that 1%, think about this, it's kind of cool. My aunt and uncle have worked for NASA, and they talk about the fact that when a rocket launches, if it's 1% off leaving the Earth, what that means to the rocket, the ship, the crew, by the time they are trying to get to their destination, they are miles and miles and miles off course. Just that 1%. If you're driving your car down the road, if you just turn that wheel 1% the wrong way and you hold it there, you're going to end up in the ditch. It's why we talk about the fact that just 1% shifts can actually make a big difference. And when you take that 1% and you focus it on the right direction, it's amazing what will happen down the road. You may not see the instant gratification of that choice. You will see that months, years down the road. And as long as you're putting things into the right perspective right now, going, okay, where does my time, energy, effort, money need to be put right now to make sure that I'm good 3, 4, 6 months down the road, 2, 3 years down the road? So stop striving for perfection. Focus on just what needs to get done. What reinforcements in your physical environment need to be put in place? What do you need physically around you right now to help encourage you to be comfortable in the zone of discomfort? to help you move past trying to make things perfect all the time? How do you shift your physical environment to make sure that you're productive every single day? How do you shift your physical environment to help reinforce the things that you want versus the things you don't want? What needs to be done there consistently? Our physical environments have dramatically changed right now. And so making sure that our physical environment is what it needs to be to push us forward is extremely important. Which then all leads to the simple formula, which is, A plus B equals C. It has been applied to a lot of different things. In this situation, A stands for the actual event. So lots of things in life happen right now. The actual event taking place is the A piece. Now, what's interesting is B stands for your brain's perception, which is called your mind. Your brain is the physical organ in the body. The brain is a system. It follows the rules. Your mind does not. Your mind does the thinking. Your mind is all these cells that interact with all the non-cells in your body, like, bacteria and things like that. Your mind is what engages. Your brain is just a physical thing. Your brain does what it's told, which is told by the mind. And so the brain's perception of the actual event is what we can affect. You see, we're unable to change A. We're unable to change the event itself, whatever it is in your life. This one's a big event. What we can change is our brain's perception of it, because that's what leads to our conclusion of it. So what happens is your brain responds to how you consistently think. Your brain responds to how your mind consistently thinks. Which is why, when we strive for perfection, is because schooling teaches us we have to be right. School teaches us, it ingrains into us that we must be right all the time, right? It's why we take tests. Well, if you're not right, you're wrong. How often in school do we take a test and it's like, well, there's a middle of the road? School ingrains into us that we must be right. And so what happens is we get into business and we think that we must be always right. And yet that's what leads to perfection, which then can lead to procrastination, which then stops progress. So as you move forward from here on out, you're going to focus on, okay, what's the actual event taking place right now? Now, what's my perception of it? What are the thoughts that I'm thinking about it? What is it that I can alter, that I can change, that I can focus on? Because the B part of this formula is what we can actually affect, which then leads to the end conclusion and how we think through this. So with all of that in mind, let's jump into the major topic for today, which is the 16 cylinders of life. And if you've probably heard of, a 6-cylinder car, a 4-cylinder car, maybe, V8, an 8-cylinder car. If you've never heard of a 16-cylinder car, go check it out. Bugatti has one out right now. It's an amazing vehicle. And when we talk about life running on all 16 cylinders, it's like that Bugatti, one of the highest end crafted vehicles on the road. And that's what we can become. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to start focusing on what that actually looks like for all of us. So this is what we're going to focus on. Body, mind, heart, and spirit. These are the 16 cylinders that we're talking about right now. So body focuses on the physical state of being, right? So that's a major piece of kind of what we're focused on. And when we look at, moving this forward of the 16, it's 3 of the 16. Body is 3 of the 16. It's the skills we have. It's, it's the capabilities that we are able to focus on. It's what we do. It's our discipline. It's things like that. It's what we do. Then we get into mind, which is the knowledge that we obtain. It's the way that we think. It's our critical thinking. It's our ability to problem solve in life and things like that. And when we look at both ourselves and our team, these two are how we manage. So these two right here are how we manage things every single day. Then what happens is we get to the bottom piece here, which is how we lead. And how we lead starts with the heart, which is passion. It's our vision for life. It's our vision for business. It's things like that. It's our values. It's what we value, which we're going to talk about a little bit tomorrow and things like that. So this is 5 of the cylinders. So what we have here is we have the manage piece, body. It's our skills, our capabilities, and things like that. We have our mind, which is how we think, our critical thinking, our problem solving. It's our mindset, those kind of things. We can manage those. Now we get to the leading piece of what we do, which is heart, which is our passion, our vision, our values, our beliefs, and how we're structured. Oftentimes it's built by our environment and things like that. Again, we're going to talk about that in a later date. And then we get to spirit, which is the other 5, which is our purpose in life. It's our identity. It's our attitude. And when you think about it through this lens, our attitude, our identity, our purpose is something that has been created over a very long amount of time. It's something that we don't just say, you know what I want to do? I want to change my identity. I want to change my purpose. We don't just do that. It's something that is core to who we are. When you look at what we're passionate about, the heart piece, our vision of life, the values and beliefs that we have, that's something that takes a long time to develop and create and identify what we really want to have. It's not something, again, that just changes in a second. That's why when we talk about our team and our business, we have to lead through those. We have to help people understand what their purpose is and how that may align with our vision of what we are going to look to do. It's why we say that, destination mastery is the very first piece of every business. Where's this whole thing going? What's the vision, the mission, the culture, and all of that? Because that's how we lead. As a business owner, it's how we lead our teams. It's how we lead our community. It's how we lead our family and things like that, which is then why you build up to these ones that are a little bit less important, because we can change those more easily. We can change the knowledge that we have. We can change the mindset that we have. We talk through every single day different things that we can focus on for our mindset. Today, never again will I have negative thoughts. That's a choice that we can actually make and change in the moment. It's how we think. I can change how I think. If I'm taught differently, I can do differently. And then you get to this top piece, the mind, which is what we physically actually go and do. Well, it's really easy for me to change what I do. I can do that in a heartbeat. I can do that in a second. I can look at my son and say, or my daughter and say, you know what, you need to change what you're doing. And guess what they will do? If they listen, they'll do it right away. Our ability to gain skills and our capabilities, we can change those relatively easily. That's why we say you should hire based off of this stuff down here, their values, their beliefs, their attitude, and things like that, because their identity, because that's core to who they are, versus the skill set and the things that they do. We can change that real easily. So as you look to pivot your business, as you look to pivot you right now, think through the 16 cylinders. Think through what needs to pivot in your business. And this is a great time to hit the reset button for some of you. This is a great time to refocus and say, you know what? Maybe we've been focused on the wrong things too much, and maybe we need to do more of this for a little bit. And then we can get back up to managing. And that's why you put systems in place and stuff like that. Because when you put systems in place, that can help manage the people, because you have a system in place for it. So at the end of the day, where do you see the most opportunity for you and for your business? Because you are the greatest investment your business has. You and your team are the greatest investment your business has. So if you're not learning, if you're not growing, if you're just taking some of the stuff and internalizing it and not externalizing it to others, you're missing the point. So mindset, we focus a lot on that this morning. Then we get into the 16 cylinders of life and where you need to focus in those. So if you wouldn't mind, type into the chat, what's your top focus when it comes to your mindset and the 16 cylinders of where you think you need to pivot right now, that you need to improve upon, that you need to adjust, whatever that might be. What is it that you need focus on in this moment? Is it the things that you're doing? Is it the things that you're thinking? I love that one. Discipline. That's amazing. That's a master level focus, because when you become consistent with it, when you have that self-discipline, a lot of things can shift. You see, if you only focus on this for a day and it stops tomorrow, it's slightly pointless. Doing and discipline. Awesome. I love that one. What else? Ah, more focus on your purpose and making sure that everything you're doing is driving towards that. I love that one too. Now, you actually have to now go and do something with this, right? We can't just talk about it. We actually have to go do something with it. So whether it's in the mindset piece, whether it's in the doing piece, whatever that might be, we actually have to go take action. So never again projecting negative thoughts, getting outside of our comfort zone, focusing on our brain's perception of stuff instead of the actual event, because we can't change the actual event. The actual event already took place. It's in the past. We can't go change that. We can change is our perception and what we do about it. And then we get into the 16 cylinders. So mind, absolutely. And what are we going to do with it? What are we going to do with the knowledge and skills that we all may need to go increase and things like that? Focusing on team. So as you leave today, as you leave, whether you're watching this live or the recording of it, I want you to focus on this real quick. Because at the end of the day, again, we mentioned this earlier, school teaches us that we have to be right. And yet, when you learn to be wrong, you can truly grow. We're taught, it's ingrained into who we are that we have to be right. Every test that we take, oh no, you're right or wrong. It's why it causes perfection to take place in business, and that stops progress. School teaches us to be right. Yet, when you learn to be wrong, we can all actually grow. If you want to get connected with us, please do online, through our networking group, anything like that. It's we have to build community right now. Isolate yourself, don't isolate your business. So jump into the community with us. More information if you want to jump in. It's 2 weeks are free for you. dmh.actioncoach.com/networking. All the information's there. There's a couple of videos on it. We actually recorded about a hour-long webinar on how to get the most out of networking, and it's there as well, which is pretty cool. So get connected, isolate yourself, don't isolate your business, focus on discipline, focus on body, mind, heart, spirit, focus on mindset, focus on the things that you can adjust versus the things you can't. I'm Dr. Michael Hartley. I'm here to elevate your business and enhance your lifestyle. If you have questions, please type them into the chat, or into the Q&A. I'm happy to answer anything that you have. And if not, make it a great rest of your day. Bye for now. If you have questions, please feel free to type them into the Q&A or the chat. And if you don't, make it a great week.